So I started this channel to document my journey, where I started, what have I learned, where am I, where am I today? See, when I started almost 2.5 years ago at my heaviest, I weighed 340 pounds. Today, at 54 years old, I weigh about 220 and sit at approximately 18–19% body fat. Right, that's 120 pounds lost. I'm not finished. I don't pretend to have every answer, but I have learned a lot about what helped me, how to help rebuild my strength, improve my health, uh, regain energy. I thought I had lost all of that. This channel began with my journey, but this video and the guide I'm announcing today is about yours. If you know you need to make a change, but getting started feels confusing, that is exactly why I created the 90-day rebuild, a three-pillar plan to reclaim strength, health, and energy after 50. This is not a one-year master plan. It's not an advanced bodybuilding program. It's not a promise that every part of your life will be transformed overnight. It's about day one and giving you a clear path through the next 90 days using the three pillars that worked for me. See, the fitness world has made starting far more difficult, complicated than it needs to be. One person will tells you to work out 6 days a week. Someone else tells you to run every morning. You should eat low fat, low carb, plant based, Mediterranean, keto, carnivore. And then you're told to count every calorie, track every step, and take dozens of supplements to optimize your sleep, meditate, stretch, and somehow fit it into your already busy life. Before long, you're not taking action. You're researching action, and this is why so many people get stuck. They know they need to change something, but they don't know what direction or what steps to take first. See, the purpose of the 90-day rebuild is to remove that confusion. It gives you a simple starting point built around three ideas: intelligent weight training and recovery, carnivore and ketovore nutrition, and nervous system regulation. These are the three pillars that helped me. And this guide shows you how to begin using all three without needing to become an expert first. See, my own change did not happen because I suddenly discovered more motivation. In fact, for years, I wanted to lose weight. I wanted to feel better. I wanted more energy. But wanting something and deciding to do something are not the same. My decision moment came after a years of severe nighttime reflux. Um, my moment was I would fall asleep every night and then wake up choking because stomach contents had come back up my throat. One night it became so severe that I could cough air out, but I couldn't breathe air back in. I was panicking. I was close to blacking out. And before that, I was finally able just to take a couple of small sips of air through my nose between coughing fits. And that for me was the moment where the language in my mind changed. I could no longer, I was no longer somebody who just wanted change. I was someone who was changing. That switch moved from wishing to doing. You don't need to wait for that moment or a moment that frightening. Your moment may simply be realizing that your current path is taking you somewhere you no longer want to go. Uh, this guide was meant to give you somewhere practical to go next. Right. So the three pillars that are in there. The first pillar is intelligent weight training and recovery. The guide uses one brief full body workout based on high intensity training principles. The workout includes chest press, close grip lat pull downs, or a chin up if you can do them, leg press, bicep curl, and a tricep push down. Right, five basic exercises. Um, for the first three exercises, you perform a couple of light warm up sets, followed by one working set to failure, all right, or technical failure. The repetitions are controlled, about 2 seconds of lifting with a slower lowering period to keep muscle tension. You're not throwing weight around, especially if you're like me over 50, or that's why you're investing in it. We can't afford to do that, right? You're not competing with the person next to you. you're creating tension and targeting muscle and giving the body a reason to adapt. I recommend machines for beginners because they provide controlled paths of resistance versus trying to negotiate balancing free weights or barbells or things like that. So they allow you to concentrate on the muscle instead of spending most of your effort balancing the weight or learning complicated movements. Yeah, free weights have value, but during the first 90 days, the goal is to safely rebuild strength and consistency. There's time to play around with that. One of the biggest lessons in the book is that the workout is only the stimulus, that training is the stressful event that tells your body, like, hey, we need to adapt, we need to get stronger. And the rebuilding happens afterwards. Think of training like pressing a doorbell. Once you've delivered the signal, pressing it 20 times won't make it someone answer faster. Right? More training isn't automatically more progress. So if you repeatedly stress the muscles before the repair process is complete, you're accumulating fatigue and stress without giving the body enough time to adapt. This is why I like hit high intensity training and rest work together. You perform enough work, create the signal, and then we recover. We allow the recovery process to complete. Right. So pillar two is a 30-day carnivore trial. The second pillar begins with a simple 30-day carnivore test run. For those first 30 days, the foundation is beef, bacon, eggs, and butter, water, salt, electrolytes. No packaged keto snacks, no sauces, no seed oil, no sugar, no carbohydrates or vegetables during the initial trial. Right? The goal there, while weight loss probably occurs or occurs for most, the goal there is to remove the noise. For years, I had some success or mixed success with paleo or low carb diets, but I kept falling back into packaged foods marketed by healthy or keto friendly companies. Eventually, those foods contributed to cravings, stalled progress, more yo yo dieting. It took me a long time just to recognize that packaged low carb foods were still processed food. And it kept many of those same eating habits or triggers alive. What began as my own 30-day carnivore experiment eventually became a lifestyle because of how much better I began to feel. All right, now that didn't happen instantly. My body needed time to adapt. And this guide explains the adjustment period, often called keto flu, why salt and electrolytes are important, why digestion may temporarily change, and after the first 30 days, you can begin adding in other animal foods or animal based foods in one at a time: pork, chicken, seafood, possibly dairy. The first 30 days is about removing the variables. What you introduce afterwards helps you learn what your body handles well and what it doesn't, or what may even interfere with your progress. All right, so pillar three, and I think it's often overlooked, is nervous system regulation. The third pillar and was the missing piece for me. If you stop and think about it, modern life keeps us way more activated for far more of the day than we realize. Work pressure, traffic, notifications, family responsibilities, social media, that constant stream of alarming headlines keeps the sympathetic nervous system in our body's fight or flight system active. It braces you. You're always on edge, preparing to respond to the next bombshell. Right? And while that is normal, right? Our body does that. It's also supposed to switch on to help you meet the challenges and then calm down again. The problem comes in when the system is repeatedly loaded and loaded and loaded without relief. Right? You may be sitting still, but your jaw might be clenched, or your shoulders are raised, or your stomach is braced, or your breathing is all high and tight in your chest. Part of you is waiting for the next bad thing to happen. Um, this guide starts to bring awareness rather than trying to immediately fix everything. You set aside 2 or 3 reminders a day, including one near bedtime, where you simply notice what your body is doing. And why I like that is once you can recognize your patterns, The guide starts to introduce techniques like diaphragmatic breathing, or a simple evening downshift practice, or a morning breathing routine, uh, where your state, or allows you to change your state, right? It lets you down regulate. See, when it comes to your state affects your breathing, your posture, muscle tension. And the good news is that that loop also works in the opposite direction. Just by changing your breathing, your posture, and tension sends that information back to the brain, and helps you soften the state you're in. So we don't need to necessarily eliminate stress, but what we're doing is building our toolkit, our ability to move out of that state when we need to. We're creating that skill, right? So the 90-day rebuild gives you a clear roadmap for the first 13 weeks. It includes a repeatable full body workout, some illustrations and the tips on the setting up machines and instructions. Talks about the warm up, the tempo, the repetitions, even a progression guide. One of the things I appreciate about high intensity training is, because we focus on recovery, there's usually progress made every single workout, or the majority of the workouts. So the warm up, the tempo, that progression guidance is in there, as well as a guidance on a 30-day carnivore trial. Clean meal ideas, a shopping list, when and how to reintroduce food. We also get into the nervous system side, right? That awareness exercise, the breathing practices. We're also including workout logs, daily check-ins, and even weekly reviews, so you can self-assess. The goal there was to empower, to give a toolkit that you can just follow, and have the guidance on how to start thinking differently about it. Right. So you need to know you have everything that you need to do on day one, right? And then you return for day two. Um, when I started this channel to share my journey, I created right. While I started this channel to create my journey, the 90-day rebuild is there to help you begin yours. It's built around the three pillars that made a big difference for me. It took a little while to get them all right, but they're pretty solid for me now. Train the body, simplify the food, and rebuild the ability to recover. If you know you need to make a change but have been confused about where to begin, the link to the guide is in the comment section below. You 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 don't need that perfect 1 year plan before you start, right? What you need is a clear day one and direction for the next 90 days, right? Remember, training gives your body a reason to change. Recovery gives it the opportunity to rebuild. And This channel may have started my journey, but now it's time to begin yours. Right. So as always, if this journey resonates with you, please subscribe. Add to the comments down below. It all helps me get the message out there to others. So thank you, and look forward to more.